The cross can always be done in 8 moves or less. At least that's what I heard. If you have trouble solving the cross efficiently, then I'm here to help you. First of all, make sure you're solving the cross on the bottom every time. If you do it on the top, that will slow you down because you won't be able to look ahead into your first pair as easily, and you'll have to do a rotation after you finish the cross. So please make sure you do the cross on the bottom. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, here are 7 tips to help you with your cross. Number 1, ignore the centerpieces. So this is a very basic idea, but I still see a lot of people do it. So you have to make sure that you solve the cross and then align all of the colors. So for example, here we have blue with the blue center here, and here we have orange with the orange center here. So what that means is blue goes to the right of orange. So instead of solving orange, taking out blue and then inserting blue like that, instead you can just solve blue and then move it over like that. Now that seems a little bit obvious, but then if you don't plan out your entire cross during inspection, what people tend to do is take pieces out and reinsert them on top of the correct center. What you should do instead is solve the entire cross and then align all of them with the center. Alright, so here's the same cross again, and we'll do the entire cross this time. So here's orange, and to the right of orange, if you check the centers, should be blue, so blue can go here, and to the right of blue should be red. And lastly we have green, which goes to the right of red. Now let's do that entire cross solution. So insert the blue one, insert the red one, and then insert the green one into here. And then after we have solved the cross, you can align it. Number 2, the 3-move insert. So the 3-move insert is when you have a cross edge like this in the top layer. So white is facing to the side, not to the top, and then it needs to go over here, and you can do this. So going over here, if the cross edge was on the right side instead, you just do the same thing with your right hand. So this is something you want to look out for during inspection. If you can do 3 cross edges easily and the last one just ends up like this, then no problem, you can do this very quickly. And it doesn't even feel like 3 moves because it's so fast. Number 3, use one piece to insert another piece. So you can use the insertion of one piece in order to insert another piece at the same time. And that usually happens when you have a cross piece that can be inserted in one move. And so here we have green solved, so we want to solve blue to right here. Now, instead of doing blue like that and then doing the red one like this with the 3-mover that I just talked about, instead you can put the red one on top of the blue one here and then move it down like that. So that is just a pattern you'll have to recognize during inspection that you'll see over and over, so you'll be able to become very comfortable with it. Number 4, don't move the piece, move the cross. So here let's take a look at this cross. We have all of the pieces done except for the blue one. Now how should we insert this? So there's 2 ways of going about it. One is to remove the blue piece from the bottom layers and then insert it with F2. Now that's okay, but a better way to do it is instead of moving the blue piece, let's move the entire cross. Because you know you can get the blue piece into here in one move, so you can just move the cross over, get the blue piece in there, and then move the cross back. Now let's take another example and try to apply these concepts. So here again, there are 3 solved, and we want to solve the red one. It needs to go over here. So the thing you shouldn't do, which is the most obvious thing actually, is to take it out like that and then insert it like that. So there are 2 better ways to insert this actually. One of them is what I've just talked about, to move the cross so you can get the red into the empty spot and then move the cross back. And the last way that is also good is to use what I talked about earlier, which is using one piece to insert another piece. So you can move the blue piece over like this and then insert the red and then put the blue piece back. Number 5, plan out the entire cross during inspection. So ideally you want to be able to plan out the entire cross during inspection and not rely on looking at the pieces in order to do the cross anymore. Of course this may not be possible if you have not practiced the other steps as much, but once you have an efficient cross, then this should be very easy to do with practice. So the reason that this is important is just like when you look at F2L pairs, you don't want to think about the pair that you're currently doing because that will hinder your look ahead. Same thing goes for the cross. You don't want to think about the cross because it'll hinder your look ahead into the next step, which is the first F2L pair. So here, for example, you want to be able to do first pair and your cross without a pause in between. And that is only possible if you can do your cross without thinking about it. So here we go. So first pair and the cross, and so I can look ahead to my first pair during the cross, and that ensures that there's no unnecessary pause in between. Number 6, watch example solves. So unlike solving last layer cases or solving F2L cases, you can't really divide the cross into cases, which is why it's so hard to teach. It just takes a lot of experience to be able to see enough cases that you can come up with a new solution every time you get a different cross, because chances are you're not going to get the same cross more than once. That's why it's important to watch example solves, so that you're not looking at specific cross solutions, but you're looking at the ideas that faster cubers have with efficient crosses and how you can achieve an efficient cross just by learning what they have to say. And with that being said, before we get to our last tip, here are some example solves. I will do a total of 4 example solves, and I will